Chat Night Africa Live, about to begin.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming. Coming to get down. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Chat Night Africa Live, Afrocentric solutions to Africa's challenges.
We're gonna dance. We're gonna get down.
Showcasing Africa's touristic luxuriance.
We're gonna party. Party hardy. We're gonna boogie.
The other story of Africa.
And when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here.
Chat Night Africa Live, about to begin.
I'm ready. I'm coming. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming. Coming to get down. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get down. We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance.
Chat Night
I'm
Africa
coming.
Live, about to begin.
Coming to get down. We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. I'm ready. I'm coming. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. We're gonna dance. We're gonna dance.
And now, Chat Night Africa Live with Divine Chamukon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Divine Chamukon. Africans are among some of the groups most vocal on the politics of the United States. Surprisingly, during presidential elections especially, candidates talk about and pursue the Asian vote, the African American vote, but nobody cares about votes from Americans of African descent. Love him or hate him, my guest today, some describe him as provocative, some call him annoying, but others hail him as thoughtful and very productive in his ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about this American of Nigerian descent. Join me in welcoming Ed Okpa to the platform.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me on your show.
Ed, thank you for coming on Chat Night Africa, Voices of Africa, Chat Night Africa. By all accounts, you are an accomplished American of Nigerian descent, Harvard educated, consultant for many organizations, very highly connected. These achievements, Ed, must have earned you a lot of titles, powerful titles, I must say, from the beautiful Igbo land of Nigeria. Now, do I call you Igwe, Chief Dr. Professor Ed Okpa? What do I call you on the show?
AGK. That's it. I don't want to dilute the essence of my name with Doctor, Chief, all these things before, after. I promote my name, AGK or EE, AGK Edward Upper. That's all I want to be called. I don't want anything before it. My father was a chief at the time when chief had respect and mattered in Nigeria. And after that, just like any athlete, when you retire a jersey, I retire that title I will never take the title of chief. I don't care who is going to give it to me. I will never have the name chief by my name. So
You deserve it.
No, I deserve it, but I don't. That's a deservation, something to deserve that I don't want. Okay, I just want to be a simple guy. AGK, Mr. Oba is fine. Like American president, the most powerful man in the world is called Mr. President, not His Majesty, not His Excellency. When African leaders go around as excellencies, I always say, what is excellent about what you do? What is excellent about what they do? So why can't you just be Mr. President or Madam President? So let's get away from the title distraction and focus on what brand we want to promote. I promote my brand, and my brand is Ejikoba.
Ed, in Cameroon, and I would say in most African countries, when somebody like you graduate from Harvard, you're very accomplished, highly connected, titles start being conferred on the person. I'm just surprised that you're not interested. I mean, you don't look like a normal African.
I'm as normal as Africa can be. Oh, by the way, don't even forget, I'm the only native African that live in the state of Texas that the governor is conferred with a title of admiral in the Texas Navy. So I'm sure some Africans will be going around admiral, this admiral. That. I have that. In 2012, the governor, commissioned me in the Texas Navy. Which is part of an honor given to Texans who have done things. So again, those things don't mean nothing for me, even from childhood. At the time, I told my dad, forget this chieftaincy stuff. It doesn't mean anything. Live a life. And he, because people always say, well, I'm the first son of my dad. I should take it up. I said, I don't care. If anybody wants to do it, and I have said to my siblings, if any one of you ever say Chief Oba, I am done with you. I will never speak to you again.
Well, but people like you, when parties are organized, you have the high table because they expect you to donate a lot of money.
When I had my wedding, there was no high table. My event is not for people to be recognized. My event is for me to recognize my guests, and every guest that shows up at my event is more important. So I don't have those high table, low table, or somebody's walking in who say, oh, let's say Professor, Doctor, Mrs. Engineer. My wife is an electrical engineer. Not a nurse. Electrical. Okay, we don't go around Mrs. Engineer. Oh, no, nothing like that. Simplicity for me is very classic, and that's what I want to be. I want to be very simple. I want to get to the point. I don't want all these ceremonial things around me. It's not what I never grew up with it. My father was it. My grandfather was it. But I said, no, that's not for me.
We'll get into some very hot button issues, Ed. When you meet Africans, they love to talk about their former institutions. You graduated from Harvard. Why shouldn't you boast about it? I mean, you are so highly connected, Ed. You are a consultant for so many organizations. I'm just surprised that all these things don't mean anything to you.
Well, I mean, it matters to me for what I want to do, but I don't want to go around people and say, oh, look, Harvard, I went to Harvard as a graduate student. So before Harvard, I knew ABCD. I knew 1 + 1. But I always said I wanted to go to an Ivy League school, and I did. But going through Harvard or any Yale or any university for me is immaterial. The most important thing is the knowledge one acquires from whatever institution. For me, and then learning for me is continuous. I never stopped learning. Since I left Harvard in 2006, I've been doing other things. So Harvard, yes, is prestigious. I'm happy to be an alumni. I have record of having gone through that institution. But again, and then what? What does it really mean if I'm not being productive, if I'm not using that to make a difference?
Before my next question, I'd like to inform the audience that there'll be some free cash on the show today donated by Ed. He asked me to keep that quietly, but I couldn't be quiet about it. But, because people didn't need full disclosure, you're the person who's donated this cash. I'm not going to disclose how much that cash is. We will read out. I have 2 questions. Whoever answers the question on our website, now you can dial the number 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367. This broadcast is being aired on our website, www.chatnightafrica.net. 1 hour after this broadcast, the answers will be there and the winners. Here is question number 1. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? Let me repeat it. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? Question number 2. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the USSM Bank? Let me repeat question number 2. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the USSM Bank? The answers to these questions will be posted 1 hour and the winner on our website. Meanwhile, you can text the answer or dial in. You can also challenge Mr. Ed Okwa. He doesn't fear a fight, doesn't run away from a fight. Now, let's talk about what has been in the news lately. Ed, the appointment of Dr. Ngozi, a former finance minister in Nigeria, by the way, twice, and also former foreign minister for Nigeria, Dr. Ngozi, to the coveted position of Director General of the World Trade Organizations was heavily celebrated by Africans. I can imagine you as a Nigerian celebrated a lot. Did you celebrate?
Well, I mean, I acknowledge when people do things for themselves, but then I look beyond that and say, what does it do for the community? Like my wife always asks, what has that got to do with the price of bread? You know, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is not the first African. She's the first woman to be in that position. But let's go back. Boutros Ghali, okay, was the Secretary General of UN, Egyptian. And then we have, the International Atomic Energy Institute, and another Egyptian was in that position. And then we have an Ethiopian who is a WTO guy. And we've had a Nigerian who served as OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. And then we had a Nigerian who was the Secretary General of Commonwealth. So, Ngozi has done what she did, and she's served in Nigeria as a minister, but I think Minister for Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy. But the thing is, you look at what she did in Nigeria, in the position she was. What did Nigeria get out of it? She came from the World Bank. When any African comes from the World Bank, everybody jumps up and down. What is the World Bank? Is a lousy institution that only those who can get a job in the profit-making industries go seek a job for. So the point is, I don't, go get a job. But if you're going to serve a country, let us see a remarkable result that came from that position. I mean, not just because you World Bank and IMF and this and this and that. I mean, successful countries don't even care about the World Bank. If an American works at the World Bank, they don't come talking about it. Africans get excited about the World Bank because they are a country that haven't figured out how to do things for themselves. So they are always looking to these, global institutions as if that is their rescue vehicle. No. UN is not going to do anything that your country is not able to do for yourself. I mean, the UN peacekeeping force has been in Congo as long as they have. Has Congolese people gotten it together? World Bank has been in Africa. In fact, with Goodluck Jonathan was in office, he was foolish enough to have an office of the World Bank in the Aso Rock. Well, I mean, what kind of crap is that? What do you need? The people that come from World Bank, what school did they go to that other Africans haven't been to? And you can't challenge them. So I'm happy. I congratulate Mr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, but Africa is not going to get anything out of it. Because in order for you to trade, the trade is not by force. You have to trade. People have to trade with you if you have something to offer. What do we have to offer in Africa apart from mineral? You dig a hole in the ground, you found something, you sell it. Did Africans do anything for the oil to be in the ground? Did they do anything for the diamond, the minerals to be there? They didn't do anything. So they dig a hole, they sell something, and they get excited. Produce something. Agriculture, in fact, agriculture is a test of production. Because you have to plant something, you have to nurture it, you have to grow it, you have to do everything for that thing to produce for you. So not selling oil, not selling timber, not selling all those other things Africans job. Are you manufacturing cars? Are you building furniture? Are you coming up with technology? That's what the wars want to look for, because those things make you a country that is producing, not a country that is selling on earned income. So, 4 years, I think the position is every 4 years. And in the next 4 years, we'll see how many African countries have benefited because she's there. She just got a job for herself. That's all she's ever done. Ever think, okay, she was such a powerful woman, knowledgeable about things. After you become the finance minister of the most populous black nation in the world, she should have set up a consulting firm. She should have set up a consulting firm and hire people and become an advisor to African countries on how to get things right. Instead, all she's been doing is hopping from job to job. Remember, she wanted to be World Bank president, and Obama didn't appoint her because she missed that role. She thought, oh, because she has all these degrees and she went to Harvard, she was qualified. Anybody can feel qualified, but if the president of America don't want you, they don't want you. So that's what it is. If I were in her position, I would never go to work for anybody. I've been in America for 34 years. I've worked for myself for 30.
Why don't you want to work for somebody?
Because I'm not supervisable.
What do you mean by that?
I like to do things my way. I don't want to go to report at anybody's desk and be told what to do. You give me instruction, you give me a task, I can get it done. But for those who want to go work for somebody, go for it. But I'm just saying, if I have served as Nigerian finance minister, I will go get an advisory company. I will be like, KPMG, and start advising African countries on what they need to do in order for them to get away from the level where they are. Instead, all she's doing is jumping from job to job. She is not going to make any country trade with Africa. She cannot. Her position, though, will not say, okay, country A, you go trade with Africa. Heck no. Trade is bilateral. So when that bilateral agreement happens, the two countries get together and they decide on what it is they're going to trade and the condition of the trade. Now, if you have a dispute, you can go to them to resolve it. But the two partners could say, well, we don't care to do that. We're going to resolve it amongst ourselves. So the World Trade Organization is basically a glorified feel good kind of organization. They don't tell any country what to do. If America wants to give Cameroon, for instance, a free trade agreement, which is the highest agreement an America can have with a country, they don't need the World Trade Organization. And World Trade Organization cannot tell America to give another country, to give any country FTA.
Let me ask you a question here, sir. Dr. Ngozi was the foreign minister for Nigeria. She was twice the finance minister for Nigeria. Mm-hmm. You just can't dismiss that as
no.
People think that should be some accomplishment.
Because Africans are looking for job. Africans are always looking for job. They look for title, not what they can do on the job. So yes, she was finance minister. She was foreign minister. When she was foreign minister, did you ever see her make any public statement? Did Nigeria gain respect because Ngozi was a foreign minister? No. Have you ever seen her speak? No. Did she transform the image of Nigeria? And then when she was finance minister, did the Naira improve in value? Naira has been losing value ever since she was in office. The first time Nigeria made most money in selling oil was 2005, 2006, about $70-something billion, which was the height of the Gulf War. But the Naira was losing value, even as Nigeria was doing what? Making more revenue, and their foreign debt was being forgiven. And Ngozi was there. Ngozi could not say, here are the policies you got to do in order to stabilize the Naira. So what is that to celebrate about her accomplishment?
Could it just be that the system of the Nigerian government or the system just engulfed her and she just couldn't do anything?
Resigned. She sat there until she either got kicked out. Obasanjo removed her from the first role as the finance minister and made her foreign minister because Obasanjo found out that she just wasn't as good as she puts off. And then when she came back under Jonathan, the minister for petroleum, Alison Dizani, she's on the run. She's been accused of having taken so much money. So here you have a woman who is the finance minister, and the minister for petroleum was siphoning money out of Nigerian treasury. What is it that she didn't know? Look, if you put me in a position and I'm advising the president and I'm giving the president ideas to make things better, and he wouldn't take it, I will resign.
Dr. Ngozi, one of the reasons why Africans celebrate Dr. Ngozi as the general manager, the director general at the World Trade Organization is they feel that the voice of Africa will be
your voice has been heard
on the table.
No, the voice of Africa has been heard from the time God created Africans. Okay, it's not the first time. Have you read the book Squadron Africa? Africans have been there. Kofi Annan was the Secretary General of the UN. UN is even more powerful than WTO or in the same level. What has happened for Ghana? How has Ghana jumped ahead of every other African country because of Kofi Annan? How has Egypt jumped ahead? because of any other African? How has Nigeria jumped ahead because of Lukman Lowani? How has Ethiopia jumped ahead because of World Health Organization? These are things we have to be looking at, and not looking for somebody who has a desk job in World Bank and IMF. Those institutions are not profit driven. They're not profit driven. We need to have people who work in organizations where we can buy shares, where we can all be invested, because as the companies are doing well, you as a shareholder or investor, you're doing well. And not to WTO. WTO is not going to improve the trade conditions for Africa, because Africa is not ready to trade with the world. What do you have to trade with?
Nigeria, like many African countries, mired in economic problems, poverty, corruption. If one of the top justices of Nigeria became the president of Nigeria, would you celebrate? Did you celebrate when the president of Liberia was Mrs. Sirleaf?
I mean, look again. Anytime
She's an economist of Harvard renown.
No. You're talking about Sirleaf Johnson.
Yes.
The woman who was there for 12 years. Or what did they look at Liberia? Look at Liberia. Yes. Look, the position everybody takes in life on a job is like when we go to school. Okay. At the beginning of every semester, what happens? Every student has an A. Every student is given benefit of doubt. And then as the semester goes, what happens? Some people are going to flunk out. Some people are going to have F and C. And that's what Africans have always done on this position. Oh, he's educated at Oxford. Why can't we say, oh, you went to school at University of Cameroon and be happy with it? It's always Oxford or Yale or this or this or that. Why don't you celebrate people from your own institution? So my point is, I don't care where you went to school. I want to see what you do reflect that education. My father taught me 1 + 1 is 2 anywhere in the world. It's the attitude and the confidence.
In Cameroon, Ed, in Cameroon and in most African countries, I would imagine when an uncle or a dad or a husband is appointed or has some powerful political appointment, there is what they call homecoming. Mm-hmm. Let me be frank with you. Let me ask you this. If your younger brother or your older brother is appointed Nigeria's finance minister or minister of petroleum, wouldn't you celebrate?
I'll be happy for them. Let me tell you, you probably don't know this part of me. My sister, my older sister, immediate older sister, the same mom, the same dad, was the first lady of Gombe State. Go Google it. Gombe, Gombe. And, my brother-in-law was the governor, the first military governor in 1996. I was asked to come home and be part of, because at the time it was a military rule. I don't like military government. I'm very vocal. I'm very rebellious. I don't like abuse. And I told him, I am not coming. I'm not interested. I said, I'm happy for you. I congratulated them and went home, but I did not go into chase contract. I can feed myself. I don't need government handout. I can feed myself. So I have had that. I am not a typical person. My father was a chief when chief married in Nigeria. If you go into my family, we have had all those things. And I came to America. I ran for mayor. I've known governors of Texas since 1995. They've known me. I am not chasing them for that. I'm happy when you do something. And that's hopefully what you are doing is going to help you do something for the community. I'm about the community. I'm about the outcome, not the particular degree or the title somebody has. So that is my disappointment. In fact, the first African to serve as the president of the World Bank section for Africa was a Zimbabwean guy in 1996. Where is Zimbabwe? Where is Zimbabwe? Did their currency vanish because of Mugabe? So what are the Africans jumping up and down about their own being somewhere?
Let me ask you this question, Ed. Do you realize that your views are going to be very unpopular in the mainstream?
Oh yeah, let it be. I'm not.
Why are you not worried about that?
No. Why should I be worried about it? I mean, am I saying something that's not a fact? Let somebody dispute it. You want me to just celebrate because other people are celebrating? You want me to be in a beer parlor, jumping up and down? That's not my life. I am about production. I'm about the collective good, the common good, the greater good. How come there is no university in the world an African has not graduated from? So how come Africa is where they are? 54 African countries. Name one that you think that you got it together. Name one African country. Okay, the people on the northern side, sometimes when it's convenient, they feel like they're part of Africa. The other time, they feel they're part of the Middle East. But look at the other 49 or 54, 49 other countries. What are they doing? Nigeria Nigeria divine. You know when Nigeria built their first power plant? Do you know?
No.
1896. 14 years after America built the power plant, the first one was built in Nigeria. Nigeria had electricity 64 years before independence. Okay? Write it down. America had electricity 106 years after independence. And in more than 120 something years, Nigeria has had electricity. They cannot produce it. They cannot produce electricity to serve their population. And then you want me to celebrate somebody who is at the World Bank or UN. I don't have time for that. I am about the Nigeria who lives in Nigeria, not the Nigerian who is outside Nigeria and in a good shelter, a good clothing, and having a good food. I'm about the Nigeria or the Africa in Africa.
This is Chat Night Africa, and my guest is Ed Okpa. I will be bringing Ed once again on the platform. Now the questions before he comes back on the platform. Here are the questions which the first person who gets it right will win a cash prize. Question number 1. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? I repeat the question. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? Question number 2. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the USSM Bank? Let me repeat question number 2. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the USSM Bank? The winner will be posted on the website www.chatnetafrica.net under the broadcast tab. By the way, this broadcast is airing on our broadcast website as we speak. We will get your name. If you have the answer, just type the answer. You want to dial in, just dial in, and we will get your answer down. We will publish the winner on the website 1 hour after the broadcast. You are watching Chat Night Africa, and we bring back again on the platform Ed Okpa. Ed, I have another question for you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
Very good. How are you going to respond? I mean, you're not so thrilled about Africans having positions at international organizations and people gyrating left and right. How do you respond to people who just think that maybe this guy's just being jealous?
Jealous. I mean, how can I be jealous when all this time, you tell me any African who came to this country and has started working in the profession they started in their country of birth, the way I have done it. I'm not jealous of anybody. All I'm just saying is, hey, all these world organizations, okay, let's even give every head of those world organizations to an African. But you see, these people, Africans don't like to deal with the facts. They are emotional people. They see they are looking for something to celebrate. Just like, you go to the Black community, have you ever looked at the way African Americans behave and the way Africans behave? Okay, when a Black guy is drafted to play football, everybody's jumping up and down. Oh my God, he's good. Okay, do we own the organizations that the player play in? Do we own it? You're just a player. You're just being given a bonus check. How has that helped the Black community? Are those players going into Black community and becoming the agent of positive change? Invested? A lot of them don't even live in Black community. So the Africans you are celebrating don't live in Africa. Is it because in Nigeria, after she left her job, she left Nigeria. She's probably not going to ever go back there. She might come back and somebody else going to say, "Oh, come back and be a minister," because that's all she wanted. So I'm telling you, I am looking for something that benefits the African in Africa. That is the thing for me. Not people who are getting desk job, because it's not the first African to debut on a world organization. The first African to serve on the International Court of Justice back in the 60s was a Nigerian. Has the judicial system in Nigeria improved? No, has it? And there have been many Nigerians have gone through that agency.
What would
I
you
mean,
like Ngozi to do at the at the World Trade Organization? What are your expectations of her?
I don't have any expectations because there's nothing to expect. She doesn't own the organization. She's just a headmistress. So, I mean, what I don't think, I hope you're understanding this and you are asking these questions for your listeners. Ngozi cannot tell any country to trade with Africa. Cannot. Quote me. She cannot say, Singapore, trade with Africa or Nigeria. She cannot do that. World Trade Organization is going to look at fair trade, okay, agreements that are going on. So how do you do trade? There are two ways you do trade. Bilateral, two countries trading with each other. Multilateral, everybody you trading with everybody. But those agreements are things that you do. If I want to buy timber from Cameroon, am I going to WTO? I show up. I say, hey, I wanna buy your timber because the quality you have is XYZ. We set the price, and I start to do what? I start to process my timber to ship it. You can say, well, you shouldn't. If you cut it, you have to process some of it before you ship it. That's it. So this World Trade Organization is not as Africans. I think Africans just love to be ignorant of things because they want to feel good. They want to see somebody's black. That is fine. But you don't own it. I'd rather see an African that is the CEO of a major bank, a major manufacturing, headquartered in Africa, not outside of Africa.
Let's move on to why Africans really don't make an impact in the American political scene. During elections, before I even get there, during the past elections, Africans were some of the most, or among the most vocal groups online. I mean, they were saying all kinds of things. There were those who supported Trump. There were those who supported President Biden, now President Biden. During elections, Ed, candidates talk about and fight for the Caucasian votes, the African American votes. You just don't hear about the African votes, meaning here the votes from Americans of African descent. Is it that we just talk online and we are not loud enough to be heard by political candidates in the United States? What's going on?
I mean, it's hard for you to emerge and become, a political class of your own because you have African Americans. Okay, how many Native Africans are in America realistically? Are we 10 million? Are we 5 million? And where are we concentrated in any particular state? You are probably all over the place. Okay, so we belong to the African American community. We are part of that black number. So when they say 45 million of us that are black in America, they don't exclude Africans separately. But here's the other thing. A lot of Africans are not in tune to the political structure in America. Because back in their native countries, the president is the big guy. Is the biggest excitement. But in America, the most important election are your local election, your city council election, your county, then your state, your federal is, because the president has the biggest cheerleader, that's why everybody knows about that. But then again, you go in and ask the question, how many Africans that are in America are citizens? Do the number. How many? I mean, they can go online and say all they do, but a lot of them are not citizens. A lot of them are just talking for the talking's sake. A lot of them have never participated in any political process in the city they live in.
What would it take for, since we don't have statistics to say how many Africans...
I can tell you because I've been doing this ever since I became a citizen, since 1995. I can tell you. In fact, I was part of the census count of 2010. I was part of the complete count committee. So I can tell you, I mean, what I'm saying is you take your city, you live in Maryland area, you go around, you ask how many Africans that are citizens, how many of them have participated in city elections or even know the difference between the mayor of their city and the mayor of a neighboring city or their governor, what the things that impact them. American politics, the most impact is at the local level. It's not the national. I mean, the president has the biggest microphone, okay? But what he does doesn't affect me. My water, my sewer, my street being repaired has to deal with my local government, which is my city council.
the votes that Africans have are usually in. You remark that they are most times merged into the African American frame.
Yes.
How can Africans, Americans of African descent, you and I, how can we influence the African American frame, that circle, to be able to make an impact nationally or in national politics?
Well, the way we can do it is we have to get into them. We have to be involved in their community. We have to associate with them. Africans are not don't associate with African Americans. How many Africans are members of organizations that African Americans have? How many Africans, the NAACP, how many Africans are members or even giving them money? How many Africans are members of Chambers of Commerce, African American? I am the first native African to serve as secretary of the oldest African American Chamber of Commerce. No African has ever done that. I was vice chair of that organization. So I know the African American community of Dallas because I have invested in them and they've invested in me. So if you try to pull out and have your own community, you have to have the means to do it. And Africans don't have the means. Africans are one of the most discriminating people because the Cameroonians do. And when you get into the Cameroonians, oh, you are from Yaoundé, you are from this, you are from that, you're from that. The same attitude they have from their native country, they bring it into Africa. Igbos are the same way. The Igbos have their organizations, the Yoruba have their organizations, every little tribe have their own organization. The Europeans came here and became white people. Africans come here to become Africans. What good is that going to do for you? You left your country for a purpose and then you come here to practice the same thing that made you live in the first place. It's not being the retro.
How can in your view, how can Africans,
how can we do? Yeah,
yes. How can Africans, in your view, interacting in African American groups or with African Americans, what is it that we can sell to our brothers and sisters, African Americans, to say, hey, you know what? This is a powerful group. These are people.
What you do is, look. There's a saying in Igbo land: when a chicken goes to a new farm, you stand on a foot until the owner of the farm say, hey, welcome, and you put down the other foot, and then you take off. Okay. So we can't come here and overlook or neglect the history and the way the African American, because when a white man sees you, they don't know the difference between you and I. They say, oh, that's a black guy. Okay? Until now, when you open your mouth, oh, you have an accent, you may be African or you may be Jamaican or all that stuff. But I'm just saying, if you live in any city, find organizations that African American, participate in the discussion. They have their issues. Their issues and ours may not be the same thing, but you need their number. You need their number in order for you to make a political presence, because your number alone is not going to get you anywhere. Because again, if you go in Maryland, if you go to any particular zip code, do you have 1,000 Cameroonians living in any zip code that is predominantly black? No, you don't. Or Nigerians, you don't have that number. So you have to do what? Embrace. That's what white people do. The Irish, the English, the German, the Norwegian, we are white now. Boom, they pull that number. Africans are still looking for their own. And their own is not in a concentrated number to make any difference. So participate. I give you an example of the former governor of South Carolina and Louisiana. They are born of what? Indian parents. How many Indians are in America? But those states have black population. But they became governors, born here. We have Africans that are born in this country that are at the age of these two people have become governors. Have they showed up? But those people won, not because of Indian vote. They won because of white vote, African American vote, and vote of everybody else. So you cannot put weight on the African vote. The African vote is very insignificant in American politics.
When you ran for office, and I'd like you to say what office you ran for in Texas.
I ran for mayor.
You ran for mayor. What city?
Dallas.
Dallas. Well, that's a big city.
No.
You are an audacious guy.
Let me even give you the history of that. I ran for mayor in less than 8 years of becoming a citizen. No immigrant has ever done it in the history of any city, in a major city. In less than 8 years of becoming, I didn't win, but I didn't lose anything. And when I filed my petition to run for mayor, this is 2003. I became a citizen in 1995. So you can do the math. When I filed my petition to be placed on the ballot, the city secretary's office that handles elections for municipal elections said, oh, you're not qualified to do it. Guess what I did?
What do you do?
I sued the city. I sued and I won. How many
In,
Africans have we have?
in trying to run for mayor of Dallas, I mean, it's a huge. Dallas is almost the size of some African countries. What were you trying to accomplish? And what did your fellow Africans tell you? Fellow Nigerians, for example, what did they tell you? What were they
Of course,
telling you?
first of all, a lot of Nigerians don't live in the city of Dallas. Okay, so again, these are the numbers. This is what a politician looks for. The only election that all of Americans vote for is the president. Every other election, you vote at the state level, city level, county level. So when I ran for mayor, a lot of Nigerians that are citizens don't live inside the city. They couldn't vote for me. And so I decided I wasn't going to waste my time with them because they don't even know they cannot vote for me. Okay? I focused on the ones that can vote for me. Africans are not going to give you money. When you're running for office in America, there are 2 things or 3 things you're looking for. People who are going to give you contribution. Money doesn't win election, but the most important thing are the votes. And then you go to campaign and seek for votes for the people who can actually vote for you. So Nigerians were like, well, why are you running for office here? Why don't you go home? I say, I am not in Nigeria. This is my country by choice. America is my country by choice. Nigeria is my country by birth. If every immigrant that came to America behaved like the Africans, we would not have a country as beautiful as America. Because Africans are too timing. Africans are not invested. One leg here, they make money and they send it home. Okay? They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're not invested, but they're not going home. You send so much money to your people at home, and then you still stay here. You do the statistics. How many Cameroonians, Ghanaians, Nigerians, Rwandans have actually moved back? Less than 2%. Less than.
Ed, tell me, if you had won the election as
I'll do what a mayor does. I'll do what the mayors do.
The question I'm asking you is, would Africans, especially Nigerians, have a right to say, hey, look, our brothers is up the tree, and so it's time for us to eat some ripe nuts?
No. That's not what this job is about. No, that's not.
Why shouldn't they expect you? I mean, you're one of them. Why shouldn't they expect from you?
That's in Nigeria where, you become mayor or become chairman. You are in a political thing and you stealing money or you giving contracts. The mayor of Dallas doesn't give contract. It's just so, that's what I'm saying. You have to know how the system is set up to even have expectations. Africans have undue expectations because they see their own at the desk. They have undue expectations without understanding what the function of the person is on that role. So, I mean, the mayor of Dallas may have influence because of the position he or she is in, but they ain't going to say, oh, you go get a contract or give him a job or give that a job. You don't do that. You don't do that here. So if I had won, I was running for mayor of Dallas, not mayor of Nigeria, not mayor of Nigerians in Dallas. I was running for mayor.
That takes me to the next question, Ed. When Barack Obama was president of the United States and he left after 8 years, there are Africans who are still criticizing him today that he had no impact on Africa. What are your views on that?
Well, I mean, look, let's start with Chicago, where he's from. Obama is from Chicago. His wife is from Chicago. Okay? His house, which one day will enter, if not already, in the National Registry, is still on the south side of Chicago. If you look at it when Obama was in office for 8 years there, the crime rate in that city was the highest of any major city in America. There were more people killed in the south side of Chicago than you got killed in the war in Iraq. So was that a responsibility of the president? No, but his former chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, after 4 years as his first chief of staff, went back to Chicago to become mayor. Why don't you call him? I say, hey man, what's going on here? What do you need? This is a predominantly black section of town.
Are you suggesting that Africans just have unrealistic expectations of any of theirs who rises to a powerful political appointment?
They do. When Obama went to Kenya, I read his book. Remember, I met him. I had dinner with Obama. Okay, I have an autograph. Yeah. How many Africans will say they met the first black person in America and had dinner with him? I did.
When you met him, what were you telling him?
Of course, I told him that's why he autographed a picture for me. When he went back to Washington, he autographed a picture.
You didn't tell him he needed to do something for Africans?
No. I asked him the question. The question I asked him, the way he responded to it is you're going to read it in my book. Okay, but I had dinner with him. There were 25 of us in a room with the president of America. He recognized me. He knew me when I asked him questions. He said, "Are you not a Nigerian?" I said, "I am." And I told him something I found. Yeah, he said in his book. So, but I'm saying when he was president of America, he didn't go to Kenya. I didn't even say, "Do for Kenya, do for Kenya." That's where your father is from. Okay, it wasn't like 300 years ago, and he used ancestry.com to trace his root. He went to his father's village. He went to where his father was buried. Even when he became a senator, he went in fact, Kenya people were so happy about him. You know, the media in America picked it up, and he came back. He ran for Senate and he won. He became president, but he never went to Kenya in a state visit. He went on a summit. Okay, so again, Africans were jumping up and down about, oh, a black man. And I was happy for him. I'm a Republican. I supported him. I supported Obama because I wanted somebody other than a white man to be president of America. And he was. I supported him. But I was disappointed by the things that she should have done. Let me ask you this question. Has any black man ever been the chief of staff of the White House, of the president? No. Has any black man or woman ever been secretary or a White House press secretary? No.
Somebody's going to push back that in the Biden administration, you have Nigerians who have top jobs.
No, forget Nigerians. Nigerians are just deputy, assistant deputy. Do you ever know the caliber of staff in America? You know, it's just like working in a bank. There's assistant vice president. Everybody in a bank has a title of vice president. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are substantive. Okay, so you go to Washington. You know, hey, if you worked in State Department, you have a title: assistant, deputy assistant. They look. If you look for a desk job in America, then somebody's going to give you a title. I am talking about business people who go into politics to provide a service and not career civil servants who rose through the ranks. Okay, there's a difference. Let me even tell you, in 2018, President Trump had me submit a paper to be considered as an ambassador. I can pull my paper now and show it to you. If he had won, I would have been the first native African to be appointed as a non-career ambassador, because I have been invested in that process. So I would have been an ambassador, not because I worked in the State Department, but because I was an outsider that the president said, hey, go be an ambassador here. So these are the things we have to do. Look, I worked for FDIC. In less than 3 years I was in America, I was regional manager appraiser for FDIC. No African has ever done that. I'm the first African to study real estate in Nigeria, come to America and become a certified appraiser. Nobody has done that. It's one of the most difficult professions to be in. I did it in less than 7 years.
This is Chat Night Africa, and my guest is Ed Okpa. He's been in the United States for 34 years. If you have any questions, you want to challenge him, I tell you, this guy doesn't run away from a fight. You want to challenge him, dial the number, or want to answer the question, dial the number 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. My name is Divine Chamukong, and I'm the broadcast host for this audiovisual flagship Pan-African platform. I'm anchoring the broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Ed, again, I want to thank you so much for coming to take some tough questioning on this platform. I appreciate you. Now, let's transition to something else. Education is said to be what unlocks the doors to opportunities. Mm-hmm. Africans are some of the most educated groups of people in the United States. We are not, if you see Africans in business, let's first put that up against Asians, Hispanics, and so on. A Hispanic guy opens a restaurant, then he moves on to opening several other restaurants in different other cities. Asians are the same. Is it that, if education unlocks doors to opportunities, is it that we Africans just pursue the wrong education or the not so empowering education? What's the problem?
You know, good question. Africans go to school for the prestige of the education, not for the heavy lifting. Okay, there is no university in America an African has not attended. And if you look at the graduation rate, oftentimes they are top of their class or somewhere on top of their class. But the point is, after you give them that paper, they are looking for a job. They're bouncing from company to company to look for a job. Then the African that migrates to America, he's coming to either get education or go look, education. Because hey, in the society, people are, oh, do you have a master's? Do you have a what degree do you have? So how many Africans are coming to America as a carpenter, a mechanic, or to go open a restaurant, open an African restaurant, and then make that African restaurant such that non-Africans can visit it. You and I mean, know about the Chinese restaurant, the Asian, whatever, whatever. How many African restaurants that it has 1 star? Because America measures restaurants by stars. Is there any African-owned restaurant in this country that has a star? I mean, what you have is, what Nigerians call buka. It's not even a white cloth. Africans don't even have a good hospitality mentality. The customer service of Africans in restaurants sucks. So you don't want to go there. I mean, the service is bad, the cooking is bad, the taste doesn't make sense. But if you come to America, you have to say, hey, how do I sell what I have to the other community? If other people eat your food, that means they are buying into your so-called culture. But they are not doing it. Most people not, oh, it's Cameroonian restaurant. I'm not really eating Cameroonian restaurant, but Africans will go eat Chinese, but they will not eat out of Africa. So this is the mentality of us. We are still very myopic. And again, I said it, Africans are very discriminatory people. We do things based on race, our tribe and where we are born, our religion, and what part of the country we came from. All of those things tend to go. So it doesn't matter the education the African has. They have not mentally unshackled themselves. They are physically present in America, but they have no presence. They are still thinking of their country. They still believing, they're going to go home. How big a house they built. If they come home, somebody's going to call them doctor, professor, engineer, chief, blah, 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 yada, yada. They're not invested in America. And so that's why we're not growing the business. We see just title, education. And remember, there's effective education. Because somebody sat in a classroom and memorized everything the professor said and take a test and move on. You may not even be impacting yourself to change your mentality. Education is supposed to transform the way you look at things. It's not supposed to cure the problems. You're supposed to prepare your mind in order for you to think, for innovation, creativity, and recognize, okay, I don't have this. Who else can I go to in order to do what? Address that issue. So that there are silos. So they go from bachelor's and they're reading all the way to PhD. Okay, you look at the PhDs Africans have. A lot of them have PhD in subjects that make no sense. Philosophy, psychology, all this other stuff. How many of them understand financing? How many of them understand planning? How many of them understand real estate? These are the things that impact society, not, doctor. Not, this or this or that. There are careers that make a society move in a certain direction. So Africans are not in it.
Is it a matter of what you learn or who you know?
No, all of
it's no
that
secret.
happened.
You're highly connected, Ed.
No, but I didn't. I came here and I said I'm going to do this. I didn't consult with any. My uncle was here before me. I never consulted with him to say what am I going to do. When I came, I have this 2-year rule, defined 2-year rule. When I came to America, I said if I don't get into real estate in 2 years, I will go back to Nigeria. Before 2 years, I got into real estate. I went to work for the company. I said, it's a small company. I said, in 2 years, I need to get out of here because this company is not going to offer me what I needed. Before 2 years, I left them and I went to go work for what? The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. And I get over there. In 2 years, I said, I didn't come here to be a civil servant. And my father said, I hope you didn't go to America to be a civil servant. You could do all of that in Nigeria. Boom, I resigned. I resigned to go do it for myself.
So somebody would be asking, listening to you, you've been here for 34 years.
Yes.
Somebody would be asking, so what have you done that has transformed the lives of somebody in Nigeria where you were born?
Oh, no, I give scholarship. I support people there. I don't have a house in Nigeria. I have no intention to have it, but I give people scholarship. I can give you a list of people that have paid the rent for them, supported their business, and giving them scholarship to go to school. I rather do that than have a house in Nigeria I don't live in. I'm not
So how did you break into the business world? You're a consultant for many organizations, and other people are finding so much trouble to do the same thing.
Relationship. Nobody in America has ever asked me about my degree. They always want to listen to what I have to say. Divine, when I was looking for a job in real estate, I took my father's business card. I have never gone to an interview where people ask me questions. It's always about conversation. Because when I showed them my father's business card or buy a real estate company, which had been in Nigeria back in the 50s, they were like, oh my God, tell me more about it. And then it turns into a conversation. And then at the end, they say, oh, what would it take for you to come work for us? Then we talk about those kind of stuff. But nobody's ever asked me a particular question as they are interviewing me. So it is how you package and market yourself. I talk about me because I know me. But I'm not talking about me without facts. I'm going to talk about me, about what is factual and what I can do if I'm on a team. And that's why people, hire me for stuff. I mean, I have African countries now that I'm going to go talk about water system. Because I have an American engineering firm that said, hey, can you help us develop market in Africa? So I used my relationship and I started talking to them. I said, oh, yeah, come on, bring them on. I'm not an engineer, but I understand the business model of water. I'm not an engineer because I understand electricity. I'm not an engineer. I understand what makes an airplane, as a commercial jet line. So that's what I have trained myself to be able to understand the business case for every project.
You are not complaining about colonial masters being responsible for Africa's problems. When you listen to a lot of Africans, they are blaming Europe, they are blaming France, blaming Britain.
Hey, welcome
to the world. Why are you not thinking the same way?
No. Welcome to the world. What are the African Americans blaming? They are blaming white people for slavery. So Africans are blaming Europeans. Americans are blaming white people. Okay? So the blood hasn't changed. The DNA is still the same thing. Centuries the African American has left the continent. They are still here. White people. How many black people that were college roommates came out of college, started a business together? They always go looking for a job. How many Africans that are roommates in a college always graduate to go get a job? They're always looking for a job, start a business. These are what white people do. Hey, look at Facebook. Facebook roommates. Look at the Microsoft roommate. Look at Amazon. These people rely on themselves and they trust each other. So what businesses have Africans and African Americans built because they were college roommates or fraternity brothers?
But the question, Ed, is how do you move from that mindset of being a job seeker to being a job creator? How did you do it?
How I did it, because I said it to myself, and I thank God for the father I have and the parent, because my father said to me in 1989, I hope you're not you're not in America to be a civil servant. And that just triggered something in my mind. I left FDIC. You know what FDIC is? Federal Deposit Insurance. I was regional appraisal manager over 8 states before I even became a citizen. I was a citizen. I became a citizen in 1995. I was doing that job in 1988, 89, 90. No immigrant has ever done that. I'm not bragging, it's a fact. Because then when my father said that, I left. I left the job. My uncle was, oh, well, don't do that. I said, no. I said, I am going to go try it out. If I don't make it, I'll go back. For 34 years, and it has been the most beautiful decision I've ever made, because I am free to do what I want. If I want to go anywhere, I don't need to have a time away from job.
You are watching Chat Night Africa. My guest connecting from the beautiful city of Dallas is Ed Okpa. Ed, tell me, you're not so warm about people graduating from universities and looking for desk jobs. Who do you define as a successful person, African in the United States?
Everybody, every one of them is successful because you know what? You look at where they're coming from and what they are doing now. A lot of Africans that are here in America, if you were to go do the statistical study, 95% of Africans who came to America are first generation people in their family to own a car, first generation people in a family to have a fridge, have a flat, have a home, do a lot of things. So they are still in that psychological frame of mind. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. So they are caught up in it. So they are successful. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not a model of any success. I'm a model of what I have chosen to do. But what I'm saying is that these people are caught up in it. But for me, I'm always asking. I'm very critical of me. I always ask myself, what do I see myself doing in the next this number of years? And I set my mind to it. So I start doing things towards. I'm a networker. I don't socialize. There's a difference. I don't socialize. I'm a networker. I network with people. If you come to my house, you're not going to be watching TV. We're gonna have conversation. I don't cook. My wife is not a maid. I don't if I want to give you food, we have a dinner and it's gonna be formal dinner. Or
No,
I
you are
meet
very
you in a
critical.
restaurant.
You are very critical of the African thought pattern. Why is everyone wrong and you are right?
They're not wrong. I'm just saying whatever it is they are doing has not produced for their country. I am not about right or wrong. I'm just look at what you are doing. You go to Nigeria, for instance. Okay, tell me one thing that is good about the way they have governed themselves. Is it the roads? Can you drive any 50-kilometer road in Nigeria without pothole? You go drive that street and right road, I'll tell you. And Nigeria has been building roads since 2000 and 1918 when they got 1914 when it was amalgamated.
Do you invest in Nigeria?
No,
Why not?
why? Why?
You
I'm in heaven. America is supposedly heaven on earth. Why should I invest in hell? Why? I invest where I can wash my money. I invest where I can have confidence my money will do what I want it to do. I'm not going to put money in Nigeria where the naira is going to be falling in value. And sometimes, boom, all of a sudden it goes, nobody's accountable. I'm not invest, but I'll support people. I'll support my family members. If you want to do it, do it. But I'm not going to invest my money. I tell you one thing. I left some money in Nigeria before I came. I left some in a savings account. And then I go back one day, they say, oh, your savings account, because nobody did anything on it, is forfeited. I say, what? How can you forfeit savings? How can you do that? And this was 1989. And I said, I am not doing this again. I am not doing it. So you have to give me the confidence in order for me to invest in a market. That's an invest. It's my money.
somebody's going to be saying, okay, but with exposure that you've got in the United States, with a vast experience, I mean, it's hard to see what you're not knowledgeable in. Why don't you take that expertise to Nigeria?
To do what? The attitude of Nigerians is always something that I have to deal with. I have clients. The power company here that delivers power is my client, one of my clients. They give me assignment to do. I don't even have to see them. They say, "Oh, Mr. Opa, we have this for you to do. Send us, send us." They don't even ask me how much money am I going to charge them, and I send them an invoice, and I get paid tons of money. I can do it in Nigeria. If that was in Nigeria, I have to go see the governor or see the man who's going to, approve my payment. I probably have to go to his house or her house and be all that submissive. I am not a submissive guy. If I do my job, pay me. Then if I choose to use my money to do something, I can do it. But don't have me chasing you because you're the Minister of Commerce or whatever client of mine. I have done the job. Pay me. That's why I like America. I get paid when I get the job done. In Nigeria, I have people that they say the government owe them money for years. Years. How do you survive? Because they haven't gone to go kiss up to the governor or the president or the minister. I don't want that kind of life. So it's the attitude that is making it harder for me to see opportunity in Nigeria. I don't, you have to deal with people. You go to the government to get a paper. Simple thing done. You bribing everybody from the door to the desk of the guy who want to see. How is that? Why should I have to give up a place that I have sort of understood how they work to go to a place I have to go and reinvent myself? Why? I can go there. They call me for advice. I go there and I say, hey, this is what I think you can do. But you know what? Africans can copy, but they don't have no will to paste. African can copy. They have no will. They can do it. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to challenge themselves and challenge the authorities in order to say, we have to do this. In Cameroon, for as long as Cameroon has been independent, it's only two people have been president. Is it not? Ahmad Ahidjo and Paul Biya. Paul Biya, nobody even sees him. Is he physically able? Nobody sees him, but he's president. You go to Uganda, Museveni has been there since 1982. You go to so many other African
You go
countries.
to Chad, the same thing.
He's going to Chad. So,
Congo, Denis Sassou Nguesso, the same thing.
yeah. And then what happens?
Equatorial Guinea, the same thing.
Yeah. And what happens? They go to Europe and see 40-something-year-old people who tell them what to do. And they're afraid to say, hey, you're the age of my grandson or my grandchild. I'm not going to do it. They still do it. So tell me.
This is Chat Night Africa broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. My guest is Ed Okpa. He is connecting live from Texas, United States, from Dallas, Texas, United States. We will bring back Ed again on the platform in just a moment after these questions. Ladies and gentlemen, pick up your pen or your phones now. Here are two questions. Any first person who gets the question or the answers right gets a cash prize. We will publish the winner on the website 1 hour after this broadcast is over. Question number 1. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? I repeat the question. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? Question number 2. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the US SM Bank? I repeat the question. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the US SM Bank? You can pick up your phone right now and dial the number 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. If you're overseas outside of the United States, you can do 001 first. Again, as I've said, the winner will be posted on the website chatnightafrica.net under the tab Our Broadcast. chatnightafrica.net under the tab Our Broadcast. Right now, we are airing this show on our website. You don't have to be on Facebook to watch Chat Night Africa broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, join me again in welcoming Ed Okpa on the platform. Ed, everybody running ministries in most African countries, all those ministers graduated from some of the top schools in Europe and North America, Harvard, Sorbonne in France, Oxford in England. Why is it that when our people go home with all the education, with all the exposure to democracy, to good governance, they just become something else? If you went to Nigeria and you were made Minister of Finance, you're probably going to fall in the same trap, are you?
No way.
Why not?
Because the only way I will be a minister in Nigeria is if I know the president and the president is ready to do the work. If I'm not going to go to be minister in Nigeria for prestige. I have had all the prestige. I have built my name reputation without having to be part of an organization. Okay? Because all these other people, they built it because of World Bank. I built my name. I built it based on what I have done on my own. Okay, the sacrifices that I have made. I don't talk about how much money I have or how much money I don't have. But if you come to Dallas today and go to the city and ask my name, they know me. The council members will say, "Oh yeah, we know Mr. Okpa." It's not because I'm notorious. It's because of what I have done in the city. So if I'm gonna be part of something, I like to have a measure. I have to have an outcome. You talk about Africans going to school. I mean, Leopold Senghor, the first president of Senegal, he went to the best school in what is it called in France. Okay, where's Senegal today? The first African to graduate from London School of Economics and with a first class was the former president of Kenya, Kibaki. Where's Kenya today? It's because these people, I mean, because you went to school and sat in a classroom, it's easy. It's easy to memorize and take a test and pass. But the thing is, what you are reading, how is it transforming your mind? That's where the Africans are missing it. It's not the amount of degrees you pile up. It is how are you challenging yourself? How are you questioning a lot of things? You know, to say, why, how come our currency, look at the currency of 54 African countries, they are all lousy currencies. Okay, if Kenya is successful, why Kenya shillings are not being lent to countries around it? If Nigeria is successful, how come people are not borrowing Cameroon or Ghana or Togo or Lome or Nigeria borrowing money from Nigeria? Instead, they are borrowing it from France in euro, or we are going to England to borrow in pound, or we're seeking the almighty dollar. Is it not what is about these currencies that Africans have never read in a book, but they have no will to create a currency that can make them have a foothold in the global transaction or transaction amongst themselves? That is where the thing is. It's not going to school. I can go get a kid from my father's village and say, come over here in America or go to Nigeria, I'll pay your school fees until you get a PhD, whatever you want. If they have not turned their mind around, they will not, that PhD.
What would it take, Ed, for Africans in the diaspora to make a real impact, to be...
They have to claim this country. They
have to be trailblazers for change, to be troopers for change. What would it take the African, with all the exposure, with all the experience in Europe and North America, to change Africa?
Exposure is not going to work. Again, I'm telling you to do statistics. Look at 100 of your friends. Ask them, okay, sir, what did you do today? Doctor, nurses, engineers, a lot of them are what? They go to work. After you have given somebody 8 hours of your day, you want to go home and rest. And hopefully your wife ain't going to be a fire on your case and make you so miserable, because a lot of African families are having a lot of family issues. And then the people in the village are calling you and say, send money, send money. So you are not exposed. You are not exposed. Because you are in America doesn't mean you're exposed. Exposure has to be when you venture out, when you start to get involved, when you start to interact with other people other than yourself. I tell Nigerians, I didn't come here to network with you. What's the purpose? I would have been doing that in Nigeria. I came here to network with people that I didn't know about. I want to figure out how come they are successful in what they are doing, and we're not, and we got the same education. So why am I hanging out with people that when they talk with me, I talk with them, nothing is inspiring us except the typical, oh, you think you know more, you think you don't know more. That's not the purpose. You have to get out there and test yourself. So, hey, you have a lot of African doctors in America. 95% of them are still patient seeking. They are bedside practitioners. They don't even run the hospitals they work in. And those of them that have clinics, that's what they do. They are not, so they haven't expanded their scope of knowledge beyond their career. So all they know is medicine. All they know is being a nurse. All they know is being an engineer. All they know is being a teacher. They have not expanded the scope. You have to expand your scope beyond your career. Ask me about money. Ask me about anything, because I read, I participate, I have served on boards and commissions. I know how money is created by American government. I know how the instrument of finance is used to expand the economy. How many of us can discuss that except say, oh, I have a degree in finance, or I have a degree in this? If you have those degrees, if you are not in where you are challenging people and they're challenging you, it doesn't do anything for you.
And anybody who wants to challenge your ideas, I've said it over and over, anybody who wants to challenge Ed can dial the number 240-603-7367. Let me ask you a quick question, kind of personal, if you don't mind. Repeat the questions. I only got the first one, the phone number where answers should be sent. Okay. You can dial the number 240-603-7367, or you can just type the answer right now. Okay, 240-603-7367. If you love what you are watching, please share this broadcast. By the way, you don't have to be on Facebook to watch Chat Night Africa. You can just go on your browser and type www.chatnightafrica.net. My guest this week is Ed Okpa from the beautiful Igbo lands of Nigeria.
What is the number? Somebody's asking me for the number. Say
240.
Wait, 240
603
603
73
603
73 67. Let me repeat loud and clear again for everybody. 240 603 7367. After the broadcast is over, 1 to 2 hours after the broadcast is over, we will post the winner and the answers on the website of chatnightafrica.net. That's chatnightafrica.net under the tab Our Broadcast. Ed, let me ask you a somewhat personal question. You've been in the United States, in Texas, for 34 years. Yes. What has changed in you since you came from Nigeria? What has changed in you?
Well, apart from me aging like everybody gets 24 hours to age. My mentality, but you see, what most people don't know, I've always been like this. If you go and ask people that grew up with me, or if my parents were alive, I've always been like this. My wife will tell you, I'm not a joiner. I don't go along to get along. I go along to get along if going along makes sense. Okay, so what has changed in me is I have become, of course, I've always been a confident guy. My attitude has always been me. If you don't like me, I don't like you back. I'm not in this business to be liked. But if I have facts, I put out my facts. The facts is my judgment, and most people don't like facts, just like most people don't like the truth. So this aspect of me has been part of me. I don't like to collude. I don't like to conspire. I don't like to undermine people. That's not my thing. So what has changed is I have gotten more confident, more bold. I am bold. I met Trump. I asked him a question. Straight up. I met Bush. I met Obama. I met Bush.
But that's exactly why. All right, somebody on the line. This is Chat Night Africa. Hello, you are now live. You have a question or a contribution?
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Okpa.
Yes, Mr. Okpa, are you listening to her?
I can hear.
It is.
Okay, your question, ma'am.
What's her name?
Yes, it seems like you value relationships, and relationships has been a key to your success. I wanted to know what suggestions would you give to, that person who recently graduated from university and is looking to create relationships.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Okay, that's fine. I'll answer the question. Look, relationship for me is.
Let me see if she's done with her question. Are you done with your question?
I think she's already hung up.
All right. Okay. Yes.
Relationship for me is about knowing the human being, understanding the human being, the role of human being in everything. And that has worked for me. When I came to America, I said, I want to get into real estate. I started looking for people that were in the business. And I started looking in the way, like if I meet somebody, I say, hey, what business are you in? And, so hey, this is what I do. And they asked me the same thing, well, what are you doing? I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, this is what I want to do. Well, I know a friend who is it. So, okay. This is back in the 80s. Nobody was doing email or text message, and we were exchanging number, and they will call me. So what I'm saying is, after you graduate, what do you want to do? If you want to get a job, then ask yourself, what do you want to see yourself doing in that company? Because corporate America also plays politics for you to get to the top. So when you get over there, you have to start to network with the people that you work with. When I went to work for FDIC, in 6 months, I was promoted a regional manager. I started off as an asset manager, property manager, 6 months, because I was networking with my boss. My boss and I are still friends today. Okay?
When you attend Nigerian parties, Nigerian occasions, I mean,
I don't
Igbo
do that.
people, excuse me, what did you say?
I don't go to Nigerian party.
Why
Except
not? I
I
mean, some of the
don't.
most flamboyant lifestyle. I mean, dresses are worn
No,
by
no, no, no,
Igbos.
no. I don't do
Beautiful
that.
women and handsome guys.
You see how I'm dressed? I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, okay, or a sport coat like you are. But I don't wear those Nigerian things. You can't pay me to put them on. I will not.
Why?
No, 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 they are not. They are not my style. They are not comfortable for me.
But you talk about networking. Isn't it at those occasions that you're going to network with fellow Nigerians?
No, I don't network Nigerians. No, they don't network with them because they're all about show off. And Nigerians have arguments. They don't have conversations. And I don't debate. I don't argue with people. I have conversations. I want to listen. Hey, what are we doing? If you go to Nigerian parties and talk about what you're doing, it's like you boasted. But America talks about it all the time. That's America saying we're number one. Have you ever seen anybody say they're number two? America say we're number one. So if you go to Nigerian party and say, oh, by the way, I'm working on this project, and oh, whatever. No, no. But if I go to white people and said, hey, I'm working on this project, they listen. Oh, hey, that's interesting. How can I help you? How can I be part of it? Oh, my friend, I sent you something I'm doing that is called digital divide. Okay, about telecommunication issues. I'm working with Americans because of the ideas. But if I go to say that to Nigeria, they say, oh, well, is it a contract? How much money are you going to get? Those are the things they're going to look at. They are not into about understanding something. They want to think about the money. How much are we going to make? So people have always asked me, oh, all these politics, are you getting contract from the state? I say, I don't need those people to get contract. I get the contract by myself.
I was, Ed, I mean, I was thinking that if you were to attend one of those beautiful Igbo parties,
No.
I should be dancing near you so you're throwing some money in the air.
Oh, no, no. Oh, my God. I will never do that.
You seem to be swimming against the current. Why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, you know what? Good
Tell
question.
me.
Good comment. Dead fish flow with the river. Live fish swim against the current. Okay?
Say that again. That's a lot of wisdom there.
Dead fish flow with the river. Live fish go against the current.
Look, Ed, come on, let's be serious.
No,
you make a lot of money in consulting and all kinds of things. And people should want to dance here. You say you're flinging those money. The dollar is in there.
If we want to know what I do, I'm not even much of a eater. I don't even eat. I eat once a day. Come to my home. I'll have. We'll sit down. We'll talk. But I don't go to parties. The only parties I go if I'm invited. And once I get over there, I make sure that the guest sees me, acknowledge them. If it's wedding, we give their gift. We sit down. You will never see me on the floor dancing in that party. Because it's not my kind of party. It's too noisy. By the time they spend hours trying to introduce somebody. Okay? Somebody walks through the door. It is, oh, chief doctor, engineer, professor, and they start dancing about that. I'm not there for that. I mean, the person who is hosting the party, nobody's even paying attention to them. It's some weird guy who managed to have gotten a PhD in some lousy subject, shows up with his wife or her husband, and all of a sudden everybody says, oh, let's recognize chief doctor, engineer, blah, 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 blah. Oh, no. I'm out. I'm gone. I don't do that. In my wedding, I did the same thing. And I told them there was no table. My wife and I were the only one on the table. What is supposed to be high table. Everybody else was in the floor. And I didn't have all this committee of friends. No. My wedding is a personal event. It's not for the village. So I don't go to Nigerian parties.
This is Chat Night Africa. Before I let you go, this broadcast is intended to be 90 minutes. We could go on and on for the next 2 hours. If you were to advise an assembly of Africans to start thinking like you, to begin to be productive people, what would you tell them?
Well, I'm going to say, first of all, what do you want to do? What do you see yourself? Are you happy where you are? From when you came to America to here, what has changed that you appreciate about you? Okay, what do you see yourself doing next? Because the individual has to want to do it before it will make sense. If you don't want to do it, it doesn't matter what anybody says to you. I'm a listener. I'm an observer. I observe a lot. So that's why my education has worked for me, because I'm both learning, doing it on my own, and observing around me. I decide, okay, this is the one I'm going to do. So my point is, the individual makes a decision where they want to go. I don't do the group thing. Most Africans are the group thing. Remember, people come from Africa. What do they want to do? They want to be nurses or doctor or pharmacists, because those ones pay well. When I came here, I said, I'm going to be in real estate. Divine, I took the law school exam test and I passed. I don't want to be a lawyer. My wife is always today, you should have been the best lawyer in the world. But I don't want to do it. I am in real estate. So you have Africans that come here and they say, what pays money? And that's what they go for. So Africans go to school for their abilities and not for their interest. I'm in the profession that I'm in because of my interest, not because of my ability. Because
why shouldn't, given the responsibilities that, somebody will be asking the question, why shouldn't Africans go to school because they want to make money, given the responsibilities they have?
They're chasing it, but they are not really into that thing. They are chasing it for the money. They're chasing it for the money. They are not invested. Okay, so if that career changes, oh my God, what's the next thing? But if you stay in one and invest, as I say, make a decision between your interest and your ability. Your ability to play football is good as for the number of years you can do it. After that, what else? What else?
Here's my last question for you this evening. Imagine a scenario that Ed Okpa is elected the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mm-hmm. What are the things you're going to change first?
Oh, nobody will steal money.
What are you going to do?
Nobody will steal money, because I'm the one, and nobody will come. Nobody will be a minister in my cabinet that will dress like they're going to a party. They won't wear those things they wear. I'm going to tell them this is the dress code. You have to dress like you're coming to work for the people of Nigeria. You're not coming to work. You're not coming to work dressed like people of Nigeria are coming to celebrate you. If you want to serve in my cabinet, this is the dress code. If not, you go do it on yourself. Look at the Agbada. You know what Agbada is? The three-piece suit. Anybody who wears that is not going to work, because you cannot sit on a desk and write. The thing will be falling over. And though you are constantly doing this and checking your shit, why are you wearing a cap and sitting on a desk? And then you sit for people to say, Your Excellency. No, look at the way people dress in those countries. It's not functional. And then they have all the women match all the clothes, their earring, like they're going for a traditional marriage ceremony. I will tell them this is the dress code. If you want the job, you dress this way. And on your business card, there will not be any academic qualification. No PhD, no doctor, no engineer. Simply John Muchango, Minister for Power. No PhD. Nothing.
Why is that a problem?
Because it's creating false expectation. Let the job you have done define who you are. Because you put all those titles out, and then at the end you do nothing. Then the people feel disappointed. Simplicity. Have you ever seen the president? Have you ever seen the business card of a Secretary of Energy in America? It's just a Secretary of Energy. They don't put their degrees. Look, you have to copy something. What are we copying? Okay, I'll give you an example before I go. This Nigerian deputy governor, I met one time. He gave me his card. He said, deputy. He's a deputy governor. Correct. Deputy governor chief. He put his name. And I want to make a fun of him. And I went to him and said, sir, apart from being the deputy governor, so are you chief of engineering in that department? He said, no, I'm a chief. I said, why are you putting a traditional title with a government title? It doesn't make sense. Why are you not just satisfied deputy governor? Just like when Jonathan was there. Jonathan is the only Nigerian who has a PhD to be president of America. And they will say, President Dr. Chief Jonathan. Come on. The highest political power office in the country is president. Why do you need to put doctor there? Why do you need to put president, chief of your local village? What's that? Why? So that's my thing. My thing is, if I were to be president of Nigeria, which is not going to happen, I will set a rule, and I will tell Nigerians, if any of my minister ever steals money and I don't send him to jail, I will resign from my job.
Here is a question Amber Green has texted. With the trend, Mr. Ekpa, with the trend of many Americans returning to Africa, do you predict a productive change in Nigeria?
Oh no. What is African American? I mean, when they say what is African, they will say, what do you say? Many Americans. Who are these Americans? Is it African Americans or the Nigerian Americans? Well, what are they going to do to Nigeria? Tell me what you have done in America before you go over there. What are you going over there to do? You know, so you're going back to your home country, but you have nothing. I mean, Africans are the ones that put in 30, 40 years. Look, we don't live to be 120 years. Even if we do, we are no longer effective after a certain number of years. So what are they going? You know, Ghana said, oh, Africans coming in. Ghana said, oh, if you come over there, we give you citizenship. The African American that is going in Ghana is somebody who was complaining in their neighborhood. They're going to still go to Africa and start complaining. So what are they? Are they business owners? Are they policy makers? What change have they done in America in order to so that when they go to Africa, it becomes beneficial? So nothing is going to happen. It's just the same people complaining and whining. The African American is complaining about white people, and the African is complaining about the Europeans who colonized them. So the two people that have left each other for centuries are still in the same situation. Poverty of mind is more dangerous than poverty of means. Africans have means, but they have poverty of mind.
What's your last word before we wrap up this broadcast this week, sir?
My last word is thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. And again, you know, you and I meeting is divine because it was through another friend of ours who I haven't met, but say, hey, you got to talk. Oh, yeah, I think you told me you were listening to me while you were in the store, and you said, I got to talk to this crazy guy. So you now see how crazy I am. And that's me. But let us keep having the conversation. Let us keep inspiring each other, pushing each other, pushing. You know, the fear factor that exists in us as a people, we can overcome it. Stop being regular. Stop being irregular. You know, challenge yourself. Like I said, the fish that is dead that flows in the direction of the river. But this fish that is alive flows opposite because they have the strength to go. You see salmon fish? When the current is heavy, what are they doing? They're going the other way. So go the other way. Moses went to the mountain and brought down the tablet. You know, if you're somebody who hugs the Bible and reads the Bible, if that's going to make any sense to you, not everybody went. So what is it that you want to do? If you're not getting satisfaction because of your education, put it aside. Do something else. You know, that's America. Change, keep changing. So. You know, if any one of you wants to reach me, you know, you can Google me, you can send me text message, I'll respond. I share my stories. I can tell you the things I have done. Not that you're going to do it the same way I did it, but if it's something that will inspire you, go for it. But America is the country, whether anybody likes it or not, is the best country in the world. For the people that are chatting for China, I say go to China and see if you can get involved in their city council. Heck no. Or if you have a child if you have a child in China, do you say I have a Chinese child? No. But if you have one in America, you say, hey, I got an American baby. Okay? So I love being an American. I came here to be an American. I will not live in Russia. I will love you live in China. I will not live in Germany. I will not live in the UK. If I decide to leave America and go back, I'm going back to my village. But the chances of that happening is going lesser every day. So wherever you are, make it your home. Wherever you are, make it your home. Your home shouldn't be defined by the geography of your birth or the tribal identity that comes with it. Know the people around you. You know, I know people in my neighborhood. You know, my street, I'm one of the longest residents there. I have lived in the same house for 20-something years. I've lived in the same zip code for 34 years. I've had the same telephone number because I wanted to do it to say it can be done. And what does it do for me? It shows stability. It shows discipline. When I set my mind to do something, I'm doing it. I don't apologize. Even when my wife says, oh, we apologize, I say, I'm too old to apologize. It's unfortunate you don't understand it.
Thank you so much, Ed. We can go on and on. This is not the last time you're coming to Chat Night Africa. First of all, I want to thank you for donating that amount of money. I'm not going to say what it is. If somebody has won it tonight, well, the name of the person will be on the website, chatnightafrica.net. You're such a wonderful friend, Ed. I went to a grocery store. I was listening to you. I said, I got to talk to this guy. You think out of the mainstream, and that is what I like about you. You are a disruptive kind of guy. I like
Well,
that
you have
about you,
to
sir.
be. I mean, Jesus was disruptive. Not that I am anything close to him or one of people, but I'm saying when he was there, he went against the grain, and that's why they didn't like him, and they did all the things they did to him. But he never stopped talking about what he believed in. So I'm about that. You know, my father said to me as I was about to leave Nigeria for America, he said, "Don't go to America and call me about racism." I'm telling you this. This is my father who never went to America. He said, "Don't you ever go over there and call me and say why people don't like me or people don't like me." He said, "In Nigeria, tribalism, there are people that look like you that will kill you." You know what he said to me? "Get over there and be involved." He said, "I'm
Thank you.
your father. Sometimes I don't even like you. So it's not about liking. So I'm not in the business of you liking me. If you don't like me, you've done me a big favor. I don't like you. We move on."
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank
You
you.
will come back again. And that has been Ed Okpa, connecting live from the beautiful city of Dallas in Texas, United States. Again, one more time, I'm going to read out the questions. Question number one: which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? I repeat the question. Which African country was the first to get the IMF bailout? Question number two. Which African country was the first to borrow money from the US SM Bank? You can post, even after the show is over, you can post your answers. We will get the first person who is right and publish his name at Chat Night Africa website. First of all, if you are in any healthcare field, we need you to donate not your money, but just a fraction of your time. We need doctors, nurses, pharmacists, nurse practitioners. This is giving back to the society so that we can carry out some health education. By the way, you have got to go to that website to see how beautiful it is, to see what work we have put in there for you. You can simply go to chatnetafrica.net and go on the health tab and talk privately to a doctor in the United States. Write to a doctor there and you will get a response immediately. Thank you for watching this broadcast. My name is Divine Chamokong. That's how we end the show this week. Thank you for watching.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming to get down. I'm coming to dance, We're gonna dance, we're gonna get down, we're gonna party hardy. We're gonna boogie woogie, and when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here, it's dynamite. I'm ready, I'm coming back.